like I could just feel like she's like, she's avoiding me. Then the day after that, she called me into her office, and this was close to when I was getting now closer to going on maternity leave. And I don't remember what she said to me when she called me into her office, honestly. But she did speak to me. It wasn't about that. I think it was actually about something else. I think she wanted to ask me. I think she asked me, like, what is it that you're even doing in class? Because this is when she started to get, like, ad hominem-y. Because she's a very ad hominem type of person. She'll insult your appearance, she'll insult your intelligence, she'll speak about things that have nothing to do with anything because she just wants to belittle you. She throws her authority around. Like, that's what she does. So that's when she started to get ad hominem-y with me, questioning my intelligence, saying I'm really not competent, really not that smart, saying things along those lines, and I would just be like, I guess I'm not. And she didn't like the fact that I had that kind of response, that kind of like, I don't really care. And she's like, you're arrogant. It's like, if that's arrogance, then okay, fine. Whatever. So there was a day as well where we had like a meeting with all the English teachers, and that one administrator, I said it was like a huge suck up. And then she thought that I was being rude to her. She thought that I was ignoring her. At some point, I wasn't ignoring her at all. I was taking notes of what she was saying. But I wasn't looking her in the eyes, so she felt slighted. What a child. This is a 73-year-old woman, by the way. Old lady. To be so old and so foolish. It's crazy, but not everyone who's old is wise. There was that little competition that we had during that meeting as well, where I was standing up for myself. She was trying to insult me, trying to belittle me, and I was very direct with her. Because this is where she said the thing of like, then I guess you're not very smart, are you? And I was just like, don't do those eyes at me. Don't roll your eyes at me. I was just like, I didn't even argue because I already know her personality. I know what she's like. You can't ever be right with her. So I'm just like, yes! And because she's a clown, I can't really take it personally. I'm just like, you're just a clown, and I can tell you're a clown, and I think she can tell that I can tell she's a clown, so she feels even more like, oh, shame. There was just more stuff that happened. This is just to give you an idea. We were organizing a play for our different classes, and I was the one who directed and picked the English play for my class. I was teaching first graders, and my play was actually the play for which the kids were ready for the earliest. And it turns out that, it was the most exciting. I wasn't there. I was on maternity leave when they did do it. Like my brother told me and everything, because my brother also worked at the same school, also an English teacher, but he was in middle and high school. So anyway, so there was also issues during that period because she was expecting perfection. She was expecting the kids who are French speaking, 99% of the students are French speaking, and they are 6-7 years old, and you're expecting them to learn the lines in a language that they don't speak at home, and you want them to be ready in a week. But they were ready pretty fast because me and my assistant teacher, we gave them leeway. For instance, like for those who couldn't remember the exact perfect words as they were written, if they had a variation of it but that was still logical, we allowed them to have the logical variation of the line, and they knew that line and it still made sense. And so then when she wanted to see the rehearsals and everything, she would look at the script that we hadn't modified. So I gave her the script with the handwritten modifications, but she wasn't actually reading the handwritten modifications. She was looking at the thing that was still, typed up, and then she'd be like, you don't know the line, to the kids, and she would yell at these kids. Like, I felt so bad. One day she kept us for a 2-hour rehearsal with this one group because I split my class in two. First group, second group. Short play, like 10 minutes tops. Very cute. Yeah, she kept them for 2 hours, and there was one of my students, she was playing a talking tree, and so her arms were up like this. For those 2 hours. She was just like, I was just amazed. And that little girl, she's so strong. She's so strong. Emotionally, she has such emotional maturity. It's amazing. I was like, I didn't have that emotional maturity at your age. She really was so endurance, and all the kids who were part of that group, like I gave them all stickers because they love stickers. It's like, you guys, thank you. You were amazing. You really just you endured, you persevered. And she would yell at them. She would yell at them if they didn't say the line perfectly. And then you could tell that the kids, they want to cry, but they're not crying. They're just like like, I don't know, it's like they learned how to do stress breathing because this woman is so traumatizing. Ah, my gosh. And so during that process, she was pissed off. She was like, what are you doing with the kids? Why don't they know their lines? Blah, 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 blah. Why didn't you change the script perfectly? Da, 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 da. She had told me before I did those handwritten modifications, she had said that it was okay if the kids could have an approximation of a line. You just scratch it out, you change it. She had told me that. I did that. Now she was telling me, what did you do what I told you to do? There's an expression in French, referring to people like that. It says that everything is everything and its opposite. What they want is everything and its opposite at the same time. So you're dealing with someone you can never ever be right, because the goalposts will always be changed. So she was arguing with me, blah, 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 and I was telling her, well, honey, you told me this. I didn't say honey, obviously. You're the one who told me to do this. I did what she said was okay to do. Then I ended up doing what she asked at that point, which was to type up all the modifications in a new script. I typed up all the modifications in a new script. We did another rehearsal like a week later or something. She still was not happy, satisfied, blah, blah, blah. She was changing the lines again. A week later, it was the final week before going on holiday. Going on a break. It was the final break before now the summer break. Well, summer according to like European seasons. Not summer here. Summer all the time here. There came that week. That final week. By that point, she was just done with me. Like, sometimes she'd just be like, oh, I can't talk with you. You're unreasonable to speak to. And I was just like, yeah, I'm unreasonable. So that final week, 2 days before we went off on break. So we went on break on Friday, and it was from Wednesday, and it was on Wednesday and Thursday that she was paying people. Or maybe it was just Wednesday. Maybe it was Tuesday and Wednesday. I think it might have been Tuesday and Wednesday. And she was paying people. And so she pays in cash. It allows her to, do things under the rug, because she's a scammer. She's a scammer. It is, amongst the people who've been working there for the longest time, it is common knowledge that she makes a lot of under the table money with her school. So she pays cash as well to not have a lot of traces. I was 7 months pregnant by that time, because this was at the end of April. I gave birth beginning of June. Yeah. Was that 7 months? Yes. She paid me on Wednesday, asking people, has she started paying people, blah, blah, blah. And they were telling me, yeah, some people. So she calls you into the office. Her secretary calls you into the office. She gives you your cash. Sign the contract. She signs the contract. Cool. You're out. Next person. My turn. No, what am I saying? It was my turn. No, I was seeing people, and I was asking, like, has she started to pay people? Because, I need money. I was told that yeah, she started paying people. I think she started yesterday. I think the person told me she started yesterday. And I asked another English teacher. She's like, yeah, she paid me this morning, or she just paid me now. And this was before 12. So at 12 at noon, I went to her office. I went to sit outside her office, so that way she would see me and she'd be like, okay, come into my office, get your money, blah, blah, blah. I sat outside her office, and then she went out. She came out of her office, and then she saw me, and she's like, don't even bother waiting here. You're only going to get paid around 6 o'clock. And then I was like, oh, okay. So that was irritating to me, because I didn't have to be there anymore for the day. So now I just had to kill, my gosh, I had to kill 6 hours. Well, you know what, I can do stuff with the time. So I went to do stuff with the time. Then at 5, I came back at 5 to sit outside of her office. And then there were like a few other teachers who were also there. There were part-time teachers, because I didn't really know the part-time teachers too much. The part-time teachers came for afternoons, whereas I was more in the morning. And then even if I stayed like until 5, I didn't really see these part-time teachers. So anyway, I saw these like, oh, these are faces I don't really know. They must be part-time teachers. And like, okay, so is someone in the office with her right now? It's like, yeah, someone's in the office with her right now. Blah blah blah. There were 3 other teachers that I was sitting next to. This was, like I said, 5. She told me to come back, that I'll be paid around 6. So those 3 teachers got into her office before me. Every single time she's done with someone, her secretary, because he's a secretary and the accountant as well. So he's like her right-hand man. The secretary of the school, also, like I said, accountant. So he's in the office with her. He's the one who counts the cash. He's the one who hands like the paper, like, sign, ma'am, sign here. So he comes out and he's like, and she asks who's outside. He tells her who's outside. She calls the person in. He calls the person in. So she would ask, like, who's outside? He would say who's outside. He saw me from the moment I sat there and he came out, he saw me. And normally, like as it was in the past, when she would see me, because of the fact that because particularly I'm pregnant, I was pregnant, I was moved to like the top of the line. Because, pregnant, you need to rest, you need to blah blah blah, pregnant privilege. Oh my gosh, let me tell you, if there's one thing I miss about pregnancy, it is pregnancy privilege. Even when I was about to give birth, I was like, I'm gonna miss this pregnancy privilege. Front of the line, front of the line, front of the line, front of the line, just always, permanently. Gosh, amazing. Pregnancy privilege. Brother was like, no, but now you have the privilege of having a little baby. I was like, yeah, but I don't go everywhere with him, so it's not the same. Anyway, he saw me and he told her I was out there, but she didn't call me. And I was like, oh, I know what she's doing. I know what she's doing. She's trying to punish me for trying to dominate her. Got it. And I had a feeling that, honey, you're gonna be here a while. You think you're gonna be here a while. And I was right. So those 3 teachers, like I said, that I was with, they all got in, they got paid before me. Then more teachers arrived. They all got in, they got paid before me. And every single time that Mr. I'm not gonna say his name, Mr. E came out to say to ask for the next person, especially the men. Because, at that point, there were only men that were coming, yeah. They would be like, this doesn't make sense. Like, how can she let a pregnant woman not go inside? That's not right. How is she making a pregnant woman wait? Like, the sun is going down, everything, blah, blah, blah. And it was just like, I was staying calm because I didn't say it out loud, but I was just like, I know exactly what she's doing. Finally, I was the last one, and by that time it was almost 7, so I was waiting from 5 until almost 7. So I think I got in her office at like 6:30. Everyone else was gone. I came in her office, and then before getting to paying me, I think, did she pay me first? She just wanted to first, she wanted to say what she had to say. She wanted to really put me in my place because I seemed to be getting out of it, according to her. And so, yeah, she was pretty much telling me that she was demoting me, that I would no longer be holding my class, that I would now be relegated to a reader. And let me explain what that means. In every single class, did I already explain that? No, I was talking to my sister earlier. In every single class, primary school classes, there's an assistant teacher who helps with reading. And there's a book, it's called the Butterfly Book, and it's a CVC reading book. CVC is consonant, vowel, consonant. It's a way of learning how to pronounce words. So for instance, you have tat, tat. And I had an assistant teacher because I was the primary English teacher, and then I had an assistant teacher who helped me with the reading. And now she said, like I said, she was going to be taking my class away. I was now just going to be, a traveling teacher, a traveling reading teacher who's going to go to different classes and just help out with the reading. And I was just like, okay. I mean, thankfully, I wasn't like super attached to my job. I didn't dream of being an English teacher. I'm just doing this for the money. Okay, whatever. Okay, fine. And I wanted to know, am I going to be paid more because I'm going to be working more hours now? Then she's like, no, no, no. You're gonna be here with the same pay. And I'm like, well, how's that fair? And I asked her, like, don't you think that that's unfair? Because I'm working 4 times the amount of hours and I'm not getting a higher pay. And then she said to me, you can quit if you like. That's what she wants, obviously. Yeah, she wanted me to quit. She was trying to drive me out of the school, which is something that she does. I was told that this is something that she does. She doesn't like to fire people very much. She prefers that you quit so that way she doesn't have to pay for, severance and stuff like that. And not only that, but because I was pregnant, in Gabon, you're legally not allowed to fire a pregnant woman or a woman who's going into her post-maternity, work. If she went on maternity leave at your job, you can't fire her when she comes back. Like, she has to at least get her maternity pay back. She's trying to get me to quit. And then, like I said, she said, you can quit if you like. And then I said, I'm gonna think about it.